5, I went to a Buick GMC dealership, parked right in the front, and looked for salespeople. Didn't see anybody, so I said, well, I'll start looking at the vehicles. So I started looking at the terrains, and I went out where it's high-rise so they could see me, and nobody came out. So I sat there sipping my coffee and looking around the vehicles, and nobody came out. And so I went over to the other store. That they have two different buildings. So I said, well, I'll go over to the other building and stand in front of that showroom and see what happens there. So I went over to there, and the guy comes out, looks right at me, made eye contact, and I'm looking at the vehicles, and he didn't come over. He went back inside. And it's okay. So I looked at those cars for about 10, 15 minutes. Well, let me go back to the other dealership. There's 3 guys outside smoking. So I went, started looking at their vehicles. Nobody came over. I said, well, let me go over by the showroom and see if somebody will come out, or one of the smokers will put out a cigarette and help me. Went there, nothing. So I went back out onto the high rise and started looking. Got on the phone, pretended I was describing the vehicle to somebody on the phone, and still got nothing. So I went and started looking at Cadillacs, used Cadillacs, and I was looking at all the scratches and dents on it, and was amazed that they would actually put it out on a lot like that. And finally, after 45 minutes, I called John and said, John, I've been here 45 minutes. Class is going to be starting soon, how long do I need to wait? John says, well, if you've been there 45 minutes, I think you spent your time there enough. So he says, go ahead and go to next. So okay. As soon as I hung up the phone, somebody came out, a young kid came out. His name was Genty. And so I waited 47 minutes, and he finally came out. And he came out, shook my hand, asked me my name, and we exchanged names. And asked what I was looking for. I said a terrain. I said my grandmother just died, left my mother with a lot of money. Said, she's gonna be buying a car tomorrow. She's getting the money today. She's gonna get the car tomorrow. He says, well, that's great. He says, you want to test drive a vehicle? I said, no, I don't really want to test drive it. I'd rather her test drive it. He said, well, how about you bring it to her? I said, well, she lives all the way out in Surfside. I said, that's a long ways away. He said, that's no problem. He says, I'll let you bring it to Surfside. And that kind of caught me by surprise that he doesn't even know me, didn't ask for a license or anything else, that he would let me drive all the way to Surfside with the vehicle. So he says, I said, well, I got to get to work. I've been waiting here a while. And he says, well, call your mother up and I'll bring the car to her. I live in Surfside. I'll go to my house, eat lunch, and watch a little TV, and she can come back, get me, and I'll take the car back home. And I said, well, she's busy right now. She's at the bank getting her money. So tomorrow we're going to be here to buy the car. He says, okay. He says, well, he starts doing this number. And he says, that's my business card inside. Hang on a second. So he runs aside, gets the business card, and hands it to me. He says, well, when you get the money, come on back and we'll put you in a car tomorrow. She could drive the different ones. He says, but I would really rather you have one of the used 2011 cars because you can save a lot of money on that. He says, I'm new here. I don't know the terrains too well, so it'll be a learning experience for both of us. And he says, but I would rather you go with the 2011. You could save thousands of dollars. And I said, well, she's getting a lot of money free. So I said, really, money's not an issue. He said, no, but I'd rather you go with used cars. And the way I figure it, and John might say that I'm wrong, but most dealerships say that used cars is where you make your money. And I'm figuring that the kid said that he's new, so he's not certified with the business. He probably can't make much money off of the used or new cars. He can make more money off the used cars, so he's trying to switch me over to a used car to make more money. I shook his hand and left, and that was it.
Did he get your phone number?
He did not ask for my phone number, didn't ask me to come inside. He got none of my information except for my first name. That was it. So he
Okay.
really wasn't taught how to bring people in. He needs to slow down a little bit, get more information, and even maybe talk to a manager if he's not getting the information, or if I'm leaving without him getting any information. He needs to, I guess, learn a little bit more than what he has learned.
Yep.